Thank you, Mendiza. It is a good morning, 18 minutes after 7 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in this Wednesday morning. You made it to the middle of the week. It's the 16th day of April 2014. Thank you for tuning in. My partner, Robin, is over here. Good morning, Robin.
Good morning, Larry.
How is you over there?
I'm good.
Good.
I feel good with the Lysol.
The Lysol.
I'll be earlier with it.
It's got a pleasant smell if it's been at least 5 minutes since it was sprayed. Other than that, it's a little potent. Nice morning. Boy, I just love these palm trees, Robin.
Yeah.
There's birds in the palm trees. They're looking at us. They're listening to us. They're tweeting out there.
Yes, they are.
There's one bird out there. I heard him on my way in. He goes, I said, what are you, a bird? He said, I said, are you a cat? He said,
They're the original tweeters, by the way.
I said, are you waiting to hear Robin and I go on the air this morning? And he didn't say anything.
Oh.
I took that as a yes. All right, got a good morning plan. Let me tell you what we're doing. Let's see, 7:35 this morning after the news. We will talk about Michael Bloomberg's proposal to spend $50 million of his own money to try to persuade you and I to have stronger gun control laws in this country. So I'll tell you exactly what he's got in mind. He's got the money. He's throwing it around, and I think he trumps the NRA. The NRA was spending, I think, $20 million or $20 million. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's trying to outdo them.
Oh, my God.
Put some money on the table and let's convince America. Fill in the blank. They want to persuade you to be convinced of something. In this case, I will make my case, and you can argue with me or make your case as well. In this case, I believe he's doing something that he wants something done that would be against what our Constitution guarantees for us.
Yeah.
And I know it's a touchy subject, but anyway. But I think he has a right to do it.
Sure he
He's got a right to spend his money if he wants.
So far, it's a free country.
Anyways, I'll tell you about 7:30. I'll tell you that at 7:35 if you hadn't already heard that story. 8:35, we'll do the segment that we call News Bites. This is where we take news from around the world, around the nation, around the state, and around town.
Yep.
And we shorten it so that you as a listener can, drive or sit, whatever, listen for 20 minutes and catch up on 20 to 25 stories.
That's right.
Not a bad way to catch up on the news. We are, after all, a news talk station, not just a talk station.
Yep.
Kate Sweeney coming on at 9:05. Kate is a radio host at National Public Radio, NPR. And she's coming on to speak about her book called American Afterlife. This is an interesting look at how we say goodbye to people who have passed away. There you go. Mm-hmm. It's not like, voices from beyond. It's not one of those conversations.
Yeah.
It's voices who are left behind. Mm-hmm. What we do and the way we have our funerals, I guess, is the way to say that.
Fascinating stuff.
It is a little humbling and sad and at the same time interesting. So it's very looking forward to it. 9:05. 9:35, Captain Gail Lazenby.
Yeah.
And Derek Welch will be in the studio. I believe they've both been in before. At least yes. Captain Lazenby has.
Yep.
They're coming in to talk about the State Senate Bill 1276 and State House Bill 7113. I think, if I understand this right, passage of those two bills would approve Ocala Regional as a trauma center. Mm-hmm. I am so confused by this subject.
Yeah.
I'm not confused about how I feel about it. I think we should have a trauma center in our community, in our town. I don't know how it still needs to be approved because I thought it was already there.
Yeah.
So they will help me understand this. Captain Lazenby is with the village's public safety department, and Derek Welch had been a patient at Ocala Regional, and I believe a trauma patient. Mm-hmm. Okay, so we'll find out from the two of them what their thoughts are and educate us a little bit on this. And I think I know it, but I don't know that I know it. Pastor Darrell Allen and Terry Silvola French are coming into the studio. Pastor Allen is the pastor of the Druid Hills United Methodist Church, and Terry Silvola French is a member of the congregation over at Druid Hills United Methodist Church. If you're familiar with that church, you know they do some signature events during the course of the year. One of them is the pumpkin patch at Halloween time. One of the other signature events they have is the Easter Tableau. And it starts tomorrow. It's only a 2-day event.
Yep.
It depicts the end moments in the life of Jesus Christ as a way to celebrate Easter and educate about the meaning of that whole story and why it's important to Christians. And they'll be in here to talk about it at 10:05.
Yeah, it's all real people that are acting out the individual roles.
Have you ever gone?
Yes.
I have not gone.
Yep.
I have not
Yep.
gone. They do a nativity, a living nativity at Christmas time, don't
Yes, they do.
Another signature
Yep.
event over there. 10:35. By the way, I think everything at that corner used to be called the Druid Hills something.
Yeah.
And I think they're the last remaining entity with Druid Hills in their name.
Yeah, they are.
Right? I think
Everything else
so.
has been torn down and rebuilt into something else.
That guy just yelled at the door.
Yeah, he did. He did. He yelled at the door.
All right.
Hear him all the way in here.
I know.
Scary.
Let's see. Legally Yours at 10:35. Attorney John Fuller will be in the studio. He's an attorney with the law firm of Fuller and Fuller, and he'll be answering your legal questions. Quincy Bioscience is an infomercial. A
Yes.
pre-recorded infomercial, and you will hear it on these airwaves at 11:05. It's an interesting infomercial. I would encourage you to pay attention to it if you would like to have some information on some nutrient supplements.
Yeah.
I'm not vouching for them, but it did sound interesting. I heard it for the first time on Monday, I guess, and it sounded interesting. I always like that kind of stuff anyway. So if you're interested in nutritional supplements, this is an infomercial, so obviously they're going to tell you about their product and give you an 800 number and all that. Today on Fun with Joe, I will do the same I did yesterday. I will bring to you and Joe a name 3 in 5 seconds game. It was fun yesterday. It's fun to watch you and Joe try to come up with 3. It's funny, you say name 3 and something common, name 3 sandwiches,
Yeah.
and it's like tuna, peanut butter, and then the 5 seconds is up.
Oh, that's right. That's
So you
right.
have 5 seconds to name 3 things. It's fun, a fun game, and I don't do it a lot, but when we do it, I love doing it.
It's fun.
You can't do it every day. It becomes old after a while, but if
Yeah.
you do it just now and then, it is a fun game to redo. So we'll do that, and of course we have some prizes for that one. And then our segment with Galen. There's an app out there for your phones and for your computers, etc. It's called Whisper. Have you ever heard of this app called Whisper?
No, the Whisper app.
Whisper is an app. Let me read exactly how it's described. Where people post confessions anonymously.
Oh, okay. Now this is going to be good.
I went on there and I said, whoa, look at that one. And I typed them up. So I have here some of the confessions that I found on Whisper, which is an app. And if you've never gone there, go. It's fun. It's fun to see what these people are confessing to. I don't know that they're telling the truth.
I hope they are.
I don't know, but imagine that's my confession. I lied on Whisper.
Yeah.
That's my confession, right? I lied on Whisper. All right, and let's see some of the things going on around the world that you're probably going to hear about today. Did you hear that somebody left 2 backpacks at the finish line of the Boston Marathon?
Yeah, I had heard.
Did you hear that guy screeching out there?
Yeah, I did. I saw him back up into the, into the zone where
He's
they unload stuff.
ticked off.
He took off.
He's ticked off that the doors were locked here.
Yeah, it must be that same guy.
Yeah,
That was awful.
yeah.
He backed right up in there and squealed his tires.
Whatever.
and left.
He
Yeah,
thinks the mall opens up this early?
I guess so.
Anyway, so somebody left some backpacks at the Boston Marathon. The Boston Marathon is Monday, by the way. I hope I have that right. I think I'm right.
Oh, okay.
Right? I think.
Yeah.
But anyway, so he left 2 backpacks just to be dopey. Yesterday marked the first anniversary of the Boston Marathon bombing. They arrested the guy I was just telling you about, by the way.
There was confetti in there or something. It's just
Is that what it was? I didn't even hear that part.
horrendous. That fella just locked him up.
A new video, this is in the news today, a new video shows what looks like the largest and most dangerous gathering of Al-Qaeda in years, and the CIA and the Pentagon either didn't know about it or couldn't get a drone there in time. Whatever. U.S. officials won't comment on that, but every frame of the video is now being analyzed by the United States. In the clip, the man known as Al-Qaeda's Crown Prince appears brazenly out in the open, greeting followers. Officials say it's another sign that Al-Qaeda remains a dangerous threat. So that's in the news big time today.
Yeah, of course they do. We pay those guys big bucks to be on top of security.
Also in the news, a controversial New York City Police Department surveillance unit that cataloged information on Muslim communities has been disbanded, according to the department. The unit was developed with the CIA's help after the September 11, 2001 attacks. Two advocacy groups that filed a lawsuit challenging the unit said they were pleased it had been disbanded, but also wanted to ensure that the surveillance has stopped as well. So, innocent people should have the same freedoms as other innocent people around.
Yeah, that's true.
Regardless of their religion.
Yeah.
South Korean boat. I know some people don't like when I say that, but
it's true.
It's what the Constitution guarantees.
Exactly.
Rescue boats, helicopters scrambled to rescue some passengers. A South Korean ferry overturned.
That was horrible.
Slowly sank off the southwest coast of South Korea. Of the 459 people on board, 164 have been rescued.
Gosh.
According to the security ministry. And at least 2 people were known to be dead. Another 293 remain unaccounted for. But there was some confusion this morning about a double counting or something. So anyway, that's in the news this morning too. And that submarine that's searching for that missing Malaysian Airlines had to come up against some more technical difficulties. So, all right, let's go forward. We've got to move over to Fox News, and then we'll be back. We'll talk about Michael Bloomberg's campaign.
Fox News Radio, I'm Sal Giangrasso. 2 confirmed dead, nearly 300 people still missing after a ferry hits some rocks and sinks off South Korea.
Rescuers pulling survivors onto land and wrapping them in blankets, many of them children. Some survivors say as the ship began to tilt, they jumped into the freezing sea, but many others were downstairs in the cabins and entertainment area, and when the ship rolled over, they may have been unable to get out.
Fox News Radio's Alistair Wanklin. More than 470 people were on that vessel. Ukraine's military continues its attempt to push out pro-Russian separatists, but the situation there is a toss-up.
Several armored personnel carriers of the Ukrainian military are reported to have either been captured or alleged to have changed sides, and they are moving with pro-Russian elements towards Slavyansk.
Sky News reporter Sam Kiley, Fox News. We report, you decide.
There's more to Fox News Radio than meets the ear. Go behind the headlines and join the conversation on the hottest stories of the day on the Fox News Radio Facebook page. Be a part of the Fox News Radio Facebook fan community. Post comments and tell us your opinions. See behind-the-scenes photos and videos and post your reactions to the stories that matter to you. Click the like button on Facebook and connect with breaking news and features like Fox in the Fast Lane, House Call for Help, and more. Go to Facebook.com/Fox News Radio.
Weeknights, we're busting out a brand new lineup. First, market fraud, government abuse, corruption. At 5, nothing's off limits on money with Melissa Francis. Then, from bloated bank fees to consumer scams. At 6, Jerry's exposing the issues impacting your wallet. Plus, get smart market insight and trusted analysis you won't find anywhere else. At 7, Lou Dobbs is all business. And the first and last name in business, Cavuto. Shedding light on the biggest stories making headlines at 8. Only on the Fox Business Network. Giving you...
Attention passengers for Flight 1370. The plane has been delayed at its departure point and will be at least 2 hours late. We apologize for any inconvenience.
Are you serious? It took us over an hour to get here, 2 hours going through security and getting our tickets, and now we have to wait another 2 hours.
Yeah, it's beautiful here, but we're inside this overcrowded airport all day because the plane is stuck in bad weather.
This is the last time we ever do this. When we get back, we're going to Ocala Aviation and getting our pilot's license.
Yeah, we've been talking about that long enough. It's about time we did it. Then we can just fly ourselves and never have to deal with this mess again.
Right. No long lines, no full body groping security, no baggage checks.
Not to mention never losing your luggage. Remind me again why we haven't done that?
Well, we're idiots.
Oh, right.
Attention all passengers for Flight 1370. It looks like the plane is going to be delayed a little bit longer. The airline has lost the pilot's luggage. Isn't it time you got your pilot's license? Call Ocala Aviation today. 352-861-7484. That's 352-861-7484. Hey, you've earned it. Call today.
It's cold in here. Ooh, it's hot in here.
Ah, it's just right in this house.
Looks like 1 out of 3 know about climate control mechanical services in Ocala. The first didn't call 291-0185. The second didn't know to call 291-0185. The third called 291-0185. So the moral of the story? To know is one thing, but to know and take action is another. Climate control mechanical services. Just right.
You've got a garden and we've got a show for you called You've Got a Garden with your host, Master Gardener Carol Ann Baldwin. Carol Ann answers your questions about your flowers, your veggies, your grass, your trees, even questions about your bugs. And she's only on WOCA, so don't miss Carol Ann Baldwin and You've Got a Garden each Tuesday from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. right here on WOCA The Source.
Hi, this is Joe from Damage Control Services. Join me Tuesdays at 10:30 when we discuss what to do when your property gets damaged, how to fix it fast, and get back on track. At Damage Control, we specialize in helping home and business owners recover from damage caused by floods, fires, storms, tree damage, mold, and all other insurance-related disasters. So when disaster strikes, big or small, call Damage Control Services. Call me, 352-817-6574.
Hi, Danny Warfel here. Get moving with Florida Credit Union's fast and easy loan approval process.
Let Florida Credit Union start up a new car loan for you today. No more waiting, hassles, or stop signs. You can even apply online. With a strong financial team behind you, you can enjoy great rates and fast approvals.
It's all about personalized service and a streamlined process.
Florida Credit Union, connecting your money to your life.
WOCA. All right, thank you very much. It is, 25 minutes before 8 o'clock, and the temperature is 45 degrees here at the Paddock Mall. A little bit chilly this morning, wouldn't you say, Robin?
Yeah, but it felt brisk. It felt good out there. It's a good hair day.
A little bit chilly.
So I like it.
On the website MSN, or I guess it's MSN Video is what the actual website is. It shows a race car driver who just about gets hit by a tire that fell off of another car and almost hits him in the head. And thank goodness he's okay. What that reminded me to talk about real quickly is a proposed law in the state of Florida that some people say could be very dangerous for us as drivers. I don't know if you've heard this one. Some say junk cars that should be destroyed could perhaps be repaired and put back on the road. So here's what it says, and then I'll get into the Michael Bloomberg story. I apologize for making it seem like I was going to start with that one, but this is an important one too. This is affecting you and I. There are two bills: Senate Bill 754. These are Florida bills now, and House Bill 7063. And the cost of buying replacement parts for cars could be on the rise if lawmakers decide to vote in favor of the two bills I just told you about. And those two bills have already passed several hurdles. Maybe you hadn't heard this. Gary Lindros is the name of the man who is the director of the Florida Auto Dismantlers and Recyclers Association.
Okay.
So he makes a living. So he has an vested interest in, maybe the word vested isn't correct, but he's got an interest for sure, in the idea that the cars eventually need to be destroyed, dismantled, and recycled. He keeps a close eye on this legislation. He is keeping a close eye because obviously it would affect what he does for a living.
Yeah.
He says he was shocked to see the movement of the two bills I just told you about go through the committees and they perhaps could become law. Here's what the law currently says. In the state of Florida, if a car is damaged up to 80% of its retail value, it is given a certificate of destruction.
That's right.
You destroy the car.
Right.
Senate Bill 754 would change that. Late model vehicles with a retail cost of at least $7,500, if damaged up to 90% of their worth, could be repaired and sent back onto the roads.
Yeah.
Some people say that's not good. I would love to know what Matt has to say about this, Matt Gibbs.
Yeah.
Mr. Lindros says lobbyists have been pushing to change the law for a few years now. It appears insurance companies and salvage auto auction corporations stand to benefit from the proposed law. Not exactly sure how, but that's what he says. Anyway, that's something, today's Wednesday, so I have to wait till Monday. I have to hold on to this story.
Yeah.
I'm just curious with somebody who knows more about cars than I do. In other words, could you safely put a car back on the road that was 90% damaged? 90%?
Yeah.
What's left? The steering wheel?
Yeah.
90% damage. You're basically building a new car.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't know enough about it. I'd love to hear what Matt has to say. I mean, somebody who's really skilled. I mean, we've seen some of these guys. Like I have a couple of brothers that could do this kind of thing, I guess, if they had enough money. And the tools, I guess that's what it would take, the tools and the money, right?
Right.
To put together a car, even from scratch. I have a couple of nephews that could do this.
Sure.
Right? I don't have those genes. But anyway,
everybody has their own genes.
Yeah, mine need to be washed.
That's something, because sometimes you have an accident and then the insurance company will come and total your car, and you'll look at your car and it doesn't look really banged up at all.
Yeah, but they don't give it a certificate of destruction. That simply means that they're going to pay you what it's worth, period.
Yeah, and then they take it away.
Yeah, because they're buying it from you.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
All right, on to the Michael Bloomberg story.
Okay.
Former New York City mayor Michael Bloomberg, one of the wealthiest men in America, by the way,
I believe it,
is willing to spend $50 million this year, according to the New York Times, on a grassroots movement to take on the gun lobby.
Gosh.
There's a couple of groups. One is called Everytown for Gun Safety. There's another group called Mayors Against Illegal Guns. And there's these aren't companies, I'm sorry, these are groups. Moms Demand Action for Gun Sense in America. And all those groups have thoughts on what we need to do in this country to control gun ownership. And by the way, I'm not opposed to every idea they have, by the way. The idea is to apply some of the same single-minded, single-issue zeal used by the National Rifle Association to make the pro-gun control case, except this would be anti-gun, or at least upgraded background checks, etc. Bloomberg said gun opponents need to be willing to target Democrats who are soft on gun control. The Bloomberg-funded group, modeled after the Mothers Against Drunk Driving, wants to turn women into a political force against guns. Right now, he says, this isn't Michael Bloomberg. This is Shannon Watts, who is the founder of Moms Demand Action. She told the New York Times, quote, right now, women, when they go to the polls, they vote on abortion, they vote on jobs, they vote on health care. We want one of those things they vote on to be gun violence prevention. Yeah. So do I. I want gun violence prevention.
Yeah.
I do too. But what's the best way to prevent gun violence?
Yeah.
With a baseball bat? Not usually.
No. And the bad guys are always going to have the guns.
I know. It goes down to that bumper sticker. Every town, is the name of the group again, Everytown for Gun Safety, will have an advisory board that includes former Pennsylvania Republican Governor Tom Ridge, who was Homeland Security Secretary under George W. Bush, President Bush. Builder and philanthropist Eli Broad is on the advisory board. He's he's a philanthropist. Warren Buffett will be on the board. And former chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, Michael Mullen, will be on the board as well. The group will focus on 15 states. The article does not say which 15 states. They will push for expanding background checks in those states for gun buyers on both the state level and the federal level. This is where the $50 million is going to be spent to try to persuade the voters in those states to make these laws become a reality. They hope to sign up 1 million followers this year and add to the 1.5 million already on board. The anti-gun spending that Mr. Bloomberg has done in the past has not been effective, although he hasn't dumped in $50 million before either.
Yeah.
Larry Pratt, who's been on this show as well as many talk shows, including the big radio shows, who's also the executive director of Gun Owners of America, kind of scoffed at Bloomberg's statement. He said he's free to waste his money, but he will keep losing. Again, that's from the New York Times. It's all from the New York Times.
Yeah.
Michael Bloomberg is 72. He's advocated against guns as well as obesity and smoking, in addition to donating to environmental causes. The one thing, I mean, you could argue that he's got good intentions, People are being killed by guns, so he sees, well, there's the solution, get rid of guns. People are getting fat on sodas, so he feels like, okay, well, let's make it illegal to have a soda or a big soda. People are, you name, people are smoking and dying, so let's outlaw cigarettes or something like that,
People are drinking alcohol, getting behind the wheel, and killing others.
But and people are making money on wars, so let's put an end to wars. How about we say that too?
Yeah,
he doesn't say that, but
he should.
Why don't you throw that in there?
Yeah.
But the thing is this: that our country was based on the idea. It is my belief now that we are smarter than that. People who have money have control, and people who have control think we're not smarter than that. They think they're smarter than us.
Yeah.
They think they are smarter than the philosophical conclusions of our founding fathers, who basically said, look, you need to have a gun. They didn't say you need to have a gun so you could shoot deer. You're welcome to shoot deer. They didn't say you need to have a gun even to shoot intruders, because I'm guessing back in those days, they were few and far between.
Yeah.
They wanted you to have a gun so that you would be part of the militia in case somebody wanted to take away your freedoms.
Yeah.
Period.
Exactly.
So that's what it's all about. Now, if they're talking about preventing people who shouldn't have guns from having guns, then I'm with them. And that would be determined, of course, by a court of law. It's a hot topic, and let's go to the phone and see what people are thinking out there. I think I answered the phone. Good morning, you're on the air. Are you there? Okay, I didn't push a button. Let me push a button. Good morning, you're there. You're on the air,
Good morning. In a related matter, sort of, Eagle Forum of Marion County is meeting tomorrow evening at 6:30 in the main public library on Silver Springs Boulevard, and the guest speaker will be Keith Dunn he's the state director for the John Birch Society, and he'll be talking on a number of topics. I guess some of the things he'll talk about will touch on what you just spoke. So it should be an interesting meeting. All are welcome to attend.
All right. Thank you, Jim. Appreciate that.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. I've never been a fan of the John Birch Society, by the way. The Eagle Forum, I am a fan of.
Yeah. Yeah. But
and I know you're going to tell me the John Birch Society, they're not like that anymore. Well, yeah, but I haven't always been a fan of them.
Yeah.
Good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning. I'm glad Mayor Bloomberg has found something to spend his millions on, and he certainly has every right to do that. Did you say in the story, Larry, that this was a grassroots effort? Was that part of the story?
It wasn't.
I heard you read that right at the beginning.
It was not my words. Yes, it is in the story.
It's part of the article, right?
Yeah.
How can something orchestrated by Mayor Bloomberg and Warren Buffett, which pumps $50 million into an effort, how can that be called a grassroots effort? Isn't a grassroots effort something that starts with the common people and they write their congressmen and so on and so forth?
That's a really good point. Yeah, but I wouldn't pin that on Bloomberg. I would pin that on whoever wrote this article for the Times.
Well, I think they're going to try to pretend that it is a grassroots effort.
Yeah.
But you know what? If they spend some of the money at WOCA and the Martone family gets a few ads out of Mayor Bloomberg, I'm all for it. I applaud him for that. So I'll let someone else talk. Thank you, Larry.
Good point. That's a really good point. Right. And I agree. He has the right to spend his money. And maybe here's what it could be if there's a silver lining in anything like this. It's that it gets us to talk about it. Mm-hmm. And maybe their efforts to persuade us to think differently will be met with them listening differently. It's hard for me to believe that, but yeah. I mean, the whole purpose of every debate should be that you enter the debate with two things. Number one, you respect the intelligence of the person who disagrees with you. Mm-hmm. Number two, you're willing to listen and perhaps amend your thinking, if not change it completely.
Yeah.
Those are the two things you should enter every debate with. A, you're smart. I want to hear what you have to say. B, I might not know everything. Maybe I need to hear what you have to say. So both parties have to have that, both halves, I think, and this is what we tried to do. The reason we don't do a debate show as much anymore, I do throw them in there now and then, but the reason we don't is because nobody got that. Nobody stayed on the topic.
Right.
Some of you did. I'm not saying nobody did. Nobody's a bad word. I mean, many of the callers did not. Many of the callers didn't even have the radio tuned in. No. They didn't even know what the topic was. They had an agenda. They wanted to get on the radio. I would answer the phone without having any way of screening the call. Mm-hmm. And they would get on the air and they would suddenly bring up something that was out of left field. Try to connect it to what we were talking about because they could hear enough prior to me saying, good morning, you're on the air.
Yeah.
To try to do it. And it just drove me nuts. And it was so fruitless many of the times. I'm not even going to say most, but many of the times. Anyway, so this is another debate right now. And Michael Bloomberg is entering it with his money. And all of these organizations probably have some really heartfelt reasons why they believe guns should be controlled. My heartfelt reason why you should have a right as an American to have a gun, providing you haven't been convicted of using a gun or any kind of violence. I mean, that's a different story. Those are different people. Those people had their rights taken away.
Exactly.
But as long as you haven't had your rights taken away because of a violent conviction or something like that, you should have the right. It makes no sense at all to allow everybody to have no way to protect themselves, whether it's from a bear or an intruder or an invading army.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, a guy comes in, if Russia decides to land on our shores and take over Florida, I think we should be ready to say, I don't think so.
That's right.
You know?
Exactly.
I think we should be ready to stand up and say, I don't think so, while we're waiting for the army to get here. Mm-hmm. Good morning, you're on the air.
Good morning. I think the gun control, there should be some measures implemented, but I think it's kind of silly. I mean, our government has war on drugs, and you see how successful that is. If you go into any major inner city, it's just riddled with drugs, so it's just pointless. You can take away all the guns, but then you have knives. And you can say you're going to outlaw knives, but you can take any piece of metal or anything and file it down to a knife. And even police officers will tell you a knife is more dangerous at close range, even with their bulletproof vest, than a gun is to them. I mean, even a pencil can be considered a weapon. I mean, you stab someone in the eye and hit them in the brain, they're dead. So the actual weapon itself is not the problem. It's our society and how we're dealing with the problems. You can have a gun in your house all day long. It's not going to fire itself unless somebody pulls the trigger.
Exactly.
Yeah, I know, and there will be accidents. No, I don't disagree with you, and I think if they do outlaw guns, like the bumper sticker says, then there will still be guns. It's just they won't. Nobody who's reasonable or responsible will have one. Mm-hmm. Yeah, or law abiding.
If we're all disarmed, I don't think the federal government is going to be disarmed, and that's just another way. If we become a socialist country for control,
well, let's
take away. Go ahead.
Just look at what happened out on that ranch. I mean, didn't everyday citizens who happen to have a rifle show up and say, hey, you put those cows back?
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. If we didn't have that, they would have stopped. And it was funny because someone said if the ranch was named Benghazi, none of the federal agents would have shown up to it.
That's right.
Yeah, that's a shame.
All right, you have a good day.
Yeah.
Well, and the U.S. government can't even keep track of the Al-Qaeda leaders that you had in your news earlier, so... You know, and that's what they're paid to do, and they're the ones that have the guns and the weapons.
And again, as in the spirit of debate, there might be something that the other side has that is intelligent and worth listening to, and if you're on the other side, I hope you realize that we have an intelligent idea here too. Mm-hmm. And we didn't start it. It started with the very people who created the Constitution that is the foundation under which we live. Mm-hmm. Good morning, you're on the air.
Good morning. There is an author in Ocala named Robert Waters, a wonderful author who has just published his 5th book. His first book is called The Best Defense. People might want to read it. It is true stories of individuals who were able to defend themselves because they owned a gun when someone came into their home. And again, it's The Best Defense, wonderful true stories of people who, because they were being accosted, were able to defend themselves and save their own lives.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I think that's absolutely...
Did we have him on?
I don't know if we did or not.
I think we had him on.
I don't know, but I appreciate you letting us know about it. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Appreciate
Bye-bye.
that, yeah.
And the one thing about bills is that somebody will push a bill and they'll have one issue in that bill that they get people to stand behind, and then they have secret stuff that they also have as part of the bill.
Yeah.
So this might be one of those too.
Well, yes, and that's why when you have some good congressmen who vote against something and everybody piles on them because they didn't vote for it, Cliff Stearns brought this up. He was, people were angry with him for not voting on a bill, and I wish I could remember the bill, but he made the point. He said, "Hey, it wasn't the main thing that I was opposed to. It was that little detail that somebody put in there that would have been a huge difference." And I'm sorry for being vague about it. I just don't remember. All right. Well, anyway, there's the story. You can look it up. It's in the New York Times. Mayor Bloomberg willing to spend, it says. Willing to spend.
Willing to spend. Wow.
That's like saying, I'm going to walk across the country. And I get in the news because I'm going to. I don't get in the news after I actually get there.
Exactly.
Or I might, I guess. I'm going to spend $50 million. And I'm going to show those National Rifle Association people who spent only $20 measly million.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, the NRA spent $20 million, or spends $20 million every year, according to the Times. All right, let's push forward. We've got a few things, and then we'll be back. Deal?
Deal.
Bad credit? It's none of our business, because we're not an auto dealer. We're not a bank. We're not your mother. We're OcalaForSale.com, Marion County's marketplace for cars, trucks, and SUVs. We've got thousands of sellers standing by to take your call. No middleman. But hurry, don't walk, don't run. Just sit down and log on to OcalaForSale.com. Prices and inventory change daily. Offer does not include dealer upcharge, undercutting, rust proofing, factory surcharge, or delivery fee. See website for details.
Here are today's headlines from the source, WOCA. A proposed law could put what some consider to be junk cars beyond repair onto Florida roads. The cost of buying replacement parts for cars could be on the rise if lawmakers decide to vote in favor of a state Senate and House bill that have already passed several hurdles. Gary Lindros is the director of the Florida Auto Dismantlers and Recyclers Association, and he keeps a close eye on legislation that could affect his industry. Lindros says he was shocked to see the movement of two bills through several committees that aim to change current consumer protection laws. Currently, Florida law states that if a car is damaged up to 80% of its retail value, it's given a certificate of destruction. Senate Bill 754 would change that. Late model vehicles with a retail cost of at least $7,500, if damaged up to 90% of its worth, could be repaired and sent right back onto the roads. Lindros says lobbyists have been pushing to change the law for at least 3 years. It appears insurance companies and salvage auto auction corporations stand to benefit from the proposed law. Senate Bill 754 and House Bill 7063 have already passed through several committees and are up for a vote in the main House and Senate in the coming days. More than 7,000 pounds of cocaine that might have fetched $300 million or more on the streets of the United States instead were piled high on a Coast Guard dock in Miami Beach yesterday, the result of two separate drug seizures in the Caribbean Sea. The 127 bales of drugs brought to port by the Coast Guard cutter Laguerre were confiscated in recent weeks. In the first drug seizure, a Coast Guard law enforcement detachment aboard Her Majesty's Canadian ship Glace Bay on March 15th boarded a suspect fishing boat and found no drugs on board, but after boarding and searching the vessel, the boat caught fire. The Coast Guard was able to rescue 6 members without injury. They were identified as 3 Colombians, 2 Venezuelans, and 1 Panamanian. While en route to Jamaica, where the crew was to put ashore, the Glace Bay came across 97 bales of cocaine floating in the water. It was unclear if those drugs came from the fishing vessel, and thus no charges were filed against those on board. On March 19th, the Coast Guard cutter Laguerre tried tried to stop a go-fast boat in the Western Caribbean. An armed helicopter aboard the 270-foot cutter was launched, and the crew fired shots from a .50 caliber machine gun to disable the vessel's engine. Those aboard began to jettison the 30 bales of drugs on board. The drugs were recovered, and the 5 Colombians found aboard were turned over to the Colombian authorities for prosecution. Fresh from Florida labeled red grapefruit will be on the spring and summer menu at South Korean locations of Tampa-based, Australian-themed Outback Steakhouse. Yesterday, the Florida Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services announced the unique partnership, which will have franchised Outback locations throughout the southern part of the Korean peninsula, feature a Florida-grown red grapefruit cocktail. A spokeswoman for the state agency said there has been a large jump in the number of grapefruits sold to the South Korean market this year, but firm financial terms of the deal were not immediately disclosed. Orlando City Soccer and the City of Orlando announced yesterday the development team for the new $84 million, 18,000-seat Major League Soccer stadium in downtown. Kansas City, Missouri-based sports venue designer Populous is the lead architect. Southfield, Michigan-based Barton Malow Company is the construction manager, and Greenwood Village, Colorado-based stadium development firm ICON Venue Group will be the owner's representative overseeing the project. Construction on the soccer stadium is scheduled to begin this year, and the project is expected to bring $1.2 billion to the region over the next 30 years. And those are the headlines from The Source, WOCA 96.3 FM and 1370 AM.
You're listening to WOCA News Talk 1370, Ocala's source for what's happening in today's hottest, up-to-date news and topics.
Fox News Radio, I'm Karen McHugh. It's a race against time looking for survivors of a capsized South Korean ferry.
Around 290 people unaccounted for, and there's a lot of concern that those people are still stuck inside the ship.
Jason Struther of Global Radio News in Seoul. 4 are confirmed dead, 459 were aboard. Not funny. Massachusetts State Police detonated one of 2 backpacks discovered near the finish line of the Boston Marathon, site of last year's terror attack. It turned out to be a confetti-filled rice cooker left there as a hoax. An arrest has been made.
A cop came around him, grabbed him, started struggling with him over the backpack, pulled the bag off of him, and then they tackled him and took him down. But as the cop was putting the bag down, you could tell it was a pretty heavy backpack. So they set it down in the middle of the street, and then they just started yelling to everyone, just push back, push back.
Witness Andrew Stevens. The suspect is 25-year-old Kevin Edson. Vehicles bearing Russian flags have been spotted in the Ukrainian city of Slovyansk, increasing tensions there. Fox News, we report, you decide.
There's more to Fox News Radio than meets the ear. Go behind the headlines and join the conversation on the hottest stories of the day on the Fox News Radio Facebook page. Be a part of the Fox News Radio Facebook fan community. Post comments and tell us your opinions. See behind-the-scenes photos and videos and post your reactions to the stories that matter to you. Click the like button on Facebook and connect with breaking news and features like Fox in the Fast Lane, House Call for Help, and more. Go to Facebook.com/Fox News Radio.
Weeknights, we're busting out a brand new lineup. First, market fraud, government abuse, corruption. At 5, nothing's off limits on money with Melissa Francis. Then, from bloated bank fees to consumer scams. At 6, Jerry's exposing the issues impacting your wallet. Plus, get smart market insight and trusted analysis you won't find anywhere else. At 7, Lou Dobbs is all business. And the first and last name in business, Cavuto, shedding light on the biggest stories making headlines at 8. Only on the Fox Business Network.
Hi, this is Isaiah. I'd like to introduce you to Phoenix Infinitum LLC, which is a service-disabled, veteran-owned small business right here in Ocala. Phoenix Infinitum is your one-stop tactical outfitter with tactical gear made to exceed military specifications like backpacks, range gear, canine equipment, armor carriers, and medical supply bags, manufactured right here in Ocala. We also offer concealed weapons in tactical training classes conducted by Force 4 Training. Phoenix Infinitum is located at 851 Northwest 24th Court in the Bryan Industrial Park. Visit us on the web at phxunlimited.us. And don't forget to like us on Facebook. Or just give us a call to see how we can help. 352-351-3535, 352-351-3535. That's 352-351-3535. 351-3535. Phoenix Infinitum, purveyors of awesomeness.
Hi, I'm Leah Caruso with Strive Rehabilitation, inviting you to join me Thursday at 11 a.m. for Health Matters. Ocala Health and Strive have teamed up to bring you the latest information on good health services available to you right here at home. This vital information will help you make informed decisions about your health. So don't forget to join me here at 11 a.m. Thursday. It's news you can use from Ocala Health, Strive, and your friends here at WOCA.
Thank you very much, Leah. And they will be here today, as a matter of fact, to talk about some... no, not today. Sorry, tomorrow. But today we are talking about health-related things later on. I'm confused because we're talking about the trauma center today.
Yep.
Right, and the legislation that could make... Honestly, I'm confused about that. But anyway, what time is that one? Oh, that's at 9:35.
Yep.
9:35. All right, Galen Unold has not called in. Now, yesterday he was a chaperone on his son's field trip to Busch Gardens, so maybe he's stuck down there. Maybe he's on a roller coaster or something. Let's hope he's okay.
Yeah.
Maybe he just was too worn out from that. Those things are tiring, right?
Oh, yeah.
You're all excited in the morning. Oh, there he is.
Yeah.
You're all excited at the beginning, and then by the end of the day, it's like, oh, everybody's worn out, right?
Yeah, right. You're sleeping.
I don't even know that this is Galen. Galen, is that you?
Yes. Hello.
Hey,
good morning, Larry, Robin.
Galen,
How are y'all?
we went straight to the air with you. I apologize for that. How was yesterday? Did you have a good time?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I mean, we got stuck in a rainstorm, but it was
you
good.
did?
It only lasted for about an hour and a half, and they shut everything down. But kids had a blast. It was a lot of fun.
Hour and a half. That is a long time. Wow. So what were you? So you mean in the park? You just had to kind of wait it out?
Yeah, I mean, you know, they close everything, and so you're just try to find a dry spot, and you just stay in there. So it was fine. It wasn't bad.
A lot of souvenirs you could buy during that time now.
Yeah, that's the part that's bad. But
Yeah. What do you buy? What do you buy in Busch Gardens? Bottles of beer? What do you buy there?
No, I mean, they have, just like at every other amusement park, stuffed animals, and it seems like every amusement park, they're just not happy with how much money they get from you for the gate or for food and drinks.
Right.
They now all have these arcade-style games and carny games. And,
So could you do that during the rain?
yeah, we were on the wrong side of the park, thankfully.
Yeah.
But I talked to a parent, and she said she believes that her group, and each chaperone had either 9 or 10 kids, and she said she believes they spent at least $300 during that time.
Oh wow! Oh wow!
Between the 9 of them.
Oh man!
It's crazy.
Oh
it's crazy
man!
because it's I mean, you sit there and it's so tantalizing. You know, it's they're just arcade games, and they're just hard enough that you can't get the top prize. They had a good time. I mean, they came home with, different basketballs and stuffed animals and stuff, but yeah, they paid for it.
And what time did you get home?
We got back to the school at about 7:30.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's good. I've gone on some field trips where we got back like at the end of the school day, and it was like, gosh, it was a long ride for a little visit.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Glad it was late.
Yeah, I'm glad they were able to stay a little. So was everybody asleep on?
No, nobody. Not that I saw slept on the bus.
On the way home, nobody slept. Okay.
No.
I would've.
You got a bunch of 13-year-old kids. They don't sleep.
Oh, too funny. Well, good. So where are you right now?
I'm almost in Gainesville, so I'm still on 75.
All right. How's the blood supply right now? Then we'll enter our fun topic of the day.
We're still kind of stuck with our emergency need for O. We were able to. Our hospitals are now fully stocked. We have a little less than a day's supply on our shelves, so we are making ground. It's just going to take a couple of weeks of good, steady donations to build back up our supply.
All right. So go donate if you can. We'll tell you where the Bloodmobile is later on. Right now, do you have an app on your phone called Whisper? Have you heard of this app?
I heard this. I'm like, we didn't need an app for that.
I know. Well, that's a really good point.
And what's the? Yeah, and I'm missing the point. I guess people feel that burden so much they got to tell someone.
Well, you know,
so they tell their phone.
I think so. If people feel like they've done something naughty and they can't live with themselves unless they tell somebody, but they don't want to tell anybody, they either.
There were something like over 1 million apps, so why not have one for this?
I guess so. Yeah, but I mean, you could go to a Catholic church. They have confessionals in there. You could speak to a priest and tell him some of these things. Yeah.
Yep.
In fact, I bet you some priests have heard some of these things.
Oh, I'm sure they have.
If they didn't have a vow of secrecy, you might they would have some stories they could tell, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
Well, nobody would tell them anything.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, don't you'd have to make up a secret name then for that, because every time anybody posts anything anywhere, there's always a name on there.
Can you imagine if somebody hacks it and says, "Oh, here's the real names of those people"? All right, so Whisper, for those who don't know, is an app where people who have a confession they would like to make the confession anonymously. Mm-hmm. And if you go to Whisper, I don't even know if it's whisper.com or what it is, but I read about it and then I Googled it and I found a bunch of confessions. So I want to read some to you.
So wait, you can read people's confession?
Yes.
Well, how secret is that?
Well, because you don't know who left it.
But you could hear the voice?
No. It's all typed out.
Oh, so you text it or something?
Right. You text your confession.
NSA knows.
NSA knows, yeah. Right.
That's how they got the premier of Germany or whatever, the prime minister. I can't remember what it is. Yeah.
Well, there were I didn't see any political confessions on there. There might be some, though. That would be fun to find, right?
Yeah.
I just embezzled $1 million from the federal government. That's not a confession. That's how you get elected, I think.
No,
I think
no.
so.
All right, so here's some...
Just a joke, people. It was just a joke.
Yeah, right.
I want to start something.
That wasn't really Galen. All right. Here's some of the confessions. I've stolen nearly everything we own, but my husband doesn't know. I've stolen nearly everything we own. Wow. Assuming that this is true.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? He comes home, oh, you got a new TV? Yep, sure did.
Yep.
She must make a lot of money in his brain.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Well, she just pretends she's a thrifty saver, that's all.
Yeah, that's probably what it is. I get these at thrift shops, honey.
Yeah. Yeah. I got it at Goodwill. It's only $2. You're kidding.
Oh, is that a real diamond?
You're kidding.
Yes, it is.
Let's see. I have spoken in a fake British accent for the past 3 years, ever since I began college.
Oh.
So everybody who knows her in college, he, I don't know who it is, thinks that she's from England. Or he, I don't know, man or woman, doesn't say.
You probably wonder, right? Because that's really, really difficult to pull off consistently like that. So I would bet that her friends are like, I don't know.
Yeah, right. Oh, yes, I think you're right.
Her parents or she doesn't sound like that.
Yeah, right.
She doesn't drink tea, which is really weird.
Or eat crumpets.
Or she fails the questions. Like somebody who really knows England says, wait, where'd you grow up?
Yeah.
I've done that to some people who pretend they're from New York.
Uh-huh. Oh, yeah.
Or especially if they're from my area, Long Island.
Uh-huh.
I'll ask them questions and I know they don't. I know that there's something wrong there.
Yeah.
You know where Harry's there is? Oh. Never heard of Harry's.
Here's one. I secretly went to a nudist camp and bumped into my boss. We both agreed to keep it a secret.
Well, I would hope so.
Yeah.
How awkward is that?
Can you imagine bumping into Joe at a nudist camp?
First thing, let's be honest. The first thing you go is you look up and down. Right? You check it out up to down. You give a curt nod and said, I've never seen you before in my life. You walk away and you get one more view.
We could never keep it a secret if we bumped into Joe at a nudist camp. We could never keep it. It would make great show prep.
You can't fire her.
Oh, that's right. He can't fire her then. Good point.
I mean, it's like, Judy's doing great. I guess you're both guys, and it's like Sam. I don't know.
Yeah, it's funny that you did the same thing I did. I imagined in this confession that the boss was the male and the employee was the female.
I'm apparently a sexist pig. So my stereotypical. Yeah.
Here's one. I perform private shows for men at the Adult Booth Emporium to make extra money, and my husband does not know about it. The Adult Booth Emporium.
Wow.
How does he not know?
He's at work.
You know what I mean? I mean, yeah. What, she does it 9 to 5?
Well, there's
No, I'm
needs
serious.
24
I mean,
hours a
how do
day.
you,
I don't
how do
know.
you not know? I mean, seriously, it's there's bank transactions. I mean, I'm always amazed at that's just being naive. I mean, who knows? Maybe I'm naive, but I'm pretty sure I know where my wife is most of the time.
But you don't live in a city like New York where it would be just a matter of her getting on the bus, going down to one of these places, working
I get that.
for 2 hours.
You get a paycheck. Like you get a paycheck from there, whether it's a physical check or a W-2,
Oh, I don't think so. I don't think so. No,
under the table.
I don't think so. I think these are cash dollars that get handed over.
Yeah.
So it's all under the table.
I think so.
Yeah.
I
When
think
it's
so.
that profession.
So when she comes home with a roll of ones, that's not.
She doesn't show them.
No.
That's what she says.
She says I work at Denny's.
Glitter all over her.
Glitter.
I don't know. I think I would know.
All right.
Secretly, it's like my wife is so hot, she works at the stripper.
Here's another one. My brother took the SAT for me. There's one.
Oh, no.
I've heard that before. I know somebody who had them do that.
Oh, really? I used to think dildos were a Hostess product.
That means they're having a good time with it.
It kind of looks like a Twinkie.
I think it was the word.
Yeah.
Oh, I get it. Yeah.
I have a crush
Did I
on.
ever tell you the story about my dad named my dad got a cockatiel and he named it Dildo.
Oh no!
Oh
yeah, true story. And my mother had no idea what it was.
Oh, gee. I bet she found
And
out.
he would
though.
never use that word in public. And, I was like 8 or 9, and I didn't know. So I got a bird named Dildo.
Did the bird die while you were a kid?
No, that bird lived for like 15 years.
Oh, okay. So when you
After my wife figured it out, because I think one of the kids, when you have a big family, once one child knows something like that, they all know it.
Oh, yeah.
And so that information was spread.
Oh, no.
And then it actually came up at the dinner table. That's a true story.
Here's one.
That's funny.
Here's another confession on Whisper. I lifted up a guy's motor scooter and placed it in a handicapped spot. Then I parked where the scooter had been.
Oh.
That's evil.
That's bad.
I got a ticket.
Yeah.
That's bad.
Like what? What? Yeah. I mean, in college we moved a car. It was one of those old VW Bugs that weighs like 1,200 pounds, and there was like 5 of us, and we moved it.
Uh-huh.
Where you can move it section by section.
Yeah.
But not into a handicap park. The other direction. Just to mess with the kid.
We could have put it on the sidewalk, that would have been better.
Here's one. I hate our bed. So I invited our cats to come pee on it so my husband would buy a new one.
Oh.
How do you do that? How do you
force a cat to pee?
guess
Little kitty litter?
Put the kitty litter up there. I don't know.
Think the smell of kitty litter?
Yeah, who knows?
Yeah, I'm going to go with, sometimes you have to do what you have to do on that one. Because everybody needs a good night's sleep. You get really grumpy if you don't.
Yeah, I do.
Here's one. My wife does not know that I used to be a rock star but faked my own death to get out of that lifestyle.
Wait.
That's awful.
Wonder who that is.
Yeah.
Is that awful, or is that like he's like the coolest dad on the planet and nobody knows about it?
Yeah, right.
And if your song comes on the radio, do you secretly jam to it?
Do you?
And then, of course, the other question is
You sound just like that guy.
And now we're all trying to figure out who is it.
Yeah, right.
Morrison?
Yeah, Jim Morrison.
Is it Elvis?
Yeah.
Can you imagine that?
Who else? Buddy Holly? I'm trying to find out who else died.
Yeah, really.
That's why those Elvis cruises are so
You
popular.
want to fake your death? You're losing all your royalties.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
I heard that kid from Tool Time. What's that Tool Time show called?
Home Improvement.
The kid who was also was he Lion King or something? Was like a famous young guy.
Jonathan somebody.
He kind of like got out of the spotlight, said, I don't want to do this anymore, so he doesn't. Not that he faked his death, but he's like.
Good for him.
Yeah, he
that's
just
not what he wants to
disappeared.
do.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had a good voice.
Let's see. I carry a concealed weapon. That's a secret. Okay. That's my
I've
secret.
had a secret. It's a secret just because it's concealed.
That's right.
I was the maid of honor at my best friend's wedding and realized that I had slept with all the groomsmen and the groom. Oh, no.
Good for you, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Well, she was probably
That's
there at the
awkward
bachelor
because
party.
you know they talked about that, like the grooms.
Yeah.
Oh.
I didn't know she was friends with your wife. Yeah, I didn't either. Me either. Wait, you guys all know her? Wow.
Yeah, right. Let's see. I work at a hotel. Blankets.
And that's why she's the bridesmaid.
That's right.
That's right. I work at a hotel.
Not the maid of honor. All right, keep going. I'm sorry.
Bridesmaid. I work at a hotel. Blankets only get washed once a year.
Oh, gee.
That might be true. Not sheets, but blankets.
Yeah. No, that's no,
So
that's
you got to
wrong.
stay at like the Holiday Inn Express or the Hampton Inn where they wash the duvet cover. At least they have a sticky note that says they do.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, that's bad. You got to wash them too.
Let's see. My wife doesn't know that I smoke a joint every night when she goes to bed. There's one.
She probably knows.
Probably, yeah. That's what I thought too.
Yeah.
How are you going to go to bed and not have that smell on you?
That's right.
I have a crush on our local delivery guy, so I order all kinds of stuff just to see him.
Oh.
Why is that a secret?
Because she doesn't tell anybody.
All right.
The anonymous note left on my husband's windshield was left by me.
Ooh. Somebody
Or
think
she
comes to
hit
mind
him.
with that one.
She probably hit him or something.
Yeah.
I am a male, and I really like Uggs.
Oh.
Or
Those are those big fluffy boots that you see the women wear with the pom-poms on the front.
Oh.
Those big fluffy brown boots and the big fat pom-poms.
Some of these you have to wonder if they're true, and here's one that I wonder. Every day my brother knocks on my door and says, "Morning, sunshine," to wake me up. My secret is he's been dead for 4 years.
Oh. Oh.
You think?
Gee.
You hope so. I think that would be a great way to wake up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He doesn't seem freaked out by
That's
it.
crazy. Yeah. No.
That's no, that's kind of sadly sweet.
There you go.
You get sad, but it's also very sweet.
I guess so. Yeah, I see it that way. Yeah.
I'll tell you, ghosts and like spirits like that, something I struggle with.
Me too.
On believing it's true.
Me too.
Because my wife said she grew up with a ghost in her house and used to play with them, and it was a nice ghost. So
Oh, wow.
if they're a nice ghost,
Really?
they have to be bad ghosts.
right. You don't want them.
And then you get the angels, because do you believe in angels? Okay, then you have to believe in demons, and both
I've
are
seen an
biblical.
angel. I've told you that before, right?
Yeah,
That's right.
Yeah, but it's one of those things I struggle with. So there's a lot out there we don't know, Larry.
It is a lot we don't know. Here's one. I paid an adult site for a private live video show, and my wife was the performer. She never knew.
Hey. No way.
She never knew, he said. Wow.
How would you? Okay, first of all, wait. Wouldn't you know who's going to perform before you pay for it?
I don't know.
Sometimes
do you get a
know it.
thumbnail or something?
Yeah, you just put your money in there.
I mean, if you're going to pay, you should know what you're buying.
Maybe it's just a crazy name.
You don't want it to be some dude.
Oh, well, maybe that's what it was. Maybe he said, gosh, that looks like my wife. Let me look.
Yeah.
Whoa!
And you got to pay by credit card or something.
Yeah. Maybe she recognized.
But I don't know if I wonder if the performer ever sees that or if there's a middleman.
Yeah, there's a middleman.
You know, the pimp.
Who knows?
I don't know, Larry. That was weird.
That was a weird one.
That would ruin my day.
Here's one. How would you not know? I won over $1 million in the lottery and never told my husband.
Wow.
Well, there's some hidden fees.
Something.
You'd have to have all right, because if you're going to plan that out, because you're going to get a lot of statements, I hope they invested it well. You'd have to get a P.O. box.
Something, yeah.
Right? And you figure that you would have to hide that money.
Maybe she's saving
She
until
really
Christmas.
doesn't trust her husband.
Wonder if they have
Or
good Christmases.
She had this all before she got married.
That
Yeah.
could be. That could be too. Yeah.
There you go.
Here's another confession on the Whisper app. I am married and love my wife, but I am attracted to women who smoke cigarettes.
Oh, my gosh.
That's crazy.
He's probably attracted to the way that they look when they hold the cigarette in their hand. So she should go just, get a candy cigarette or something and just kind of hang out.
Here's one. I thought Keanu Reeves was a black basketball player.
Oh.
Let's see. I have a secret stash of money my husband doesn't know about. It's kind of similar to the other one.
Yeah.
My husband doesn't know that I waste $150 a week on shoes and then hide them under the bed.
He knows.
He knows. He's good.
Yeah.
He has seen that.
You know that we all do things that others just put up with.
Mm-hmm.
Here's one. Oh, wow. Connect this to the other one. My husband doesn't know I perform on the internet for men who pay to watch me.
Oh.
He knows now.
Yeah.
I think we just read his confession.
I think
Man,
so.
that would be. Yeah.
Here's a good one. My boss doesn't know that I am really the CEO of the corporation that pays him.
Oh, there you go. And your boss is just standing. He just found out.
My boss doesn't know that I am really the CEO of the corporation that pays him. Can you imagine that?
Wow.
That's not possible.
Really?
I'm trying to think of how that would work because
What's that show?
I mean, there's
Undercover
board
Boss.
meetings,
Undercover Boss, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
Undercover
there's
Boss.
board meetings, there's high-level meetings, and so she goes from running that meeting with the board of directors down to, okay, I'm going to go back and be a clerk or something. I don't know. I'm missing something.
Yeah, she wears a wig or something like that.
Wow.
Looks kind of different.
The CEO is a very prominent person within every organization. I don't know. That doesn't. All right.
Not if it's a big company that has a few subsidiaries. They're easy to hide.
Here's one. Nobody really stole.
Then why would you need another job?
Well, maybe it's just the undercover boss thing. Maybe that's just the
I guess that's just weird.
maybe the job was enjoyable.
Yeah,
And maybe he said, I never get to work at that radio station. I own it.
that's right.
I'm going to apply and see if I can do the radio show.
That's weird.
Or maybe the boss knows. Hire him. He's the CEO. He's trying to pretend we don't know who he is.
Everybody play along.
Maybe there's another confession on here
that's
somewhere.
right. Play along.
Play along with this guy over here.
Nobody knows that my camera wasn't really stolen. I pawned it.
Oh,
I guess he or she told somebody that the
it was stolen.
camera was stolen.
Wow. That could happen.
My uncle came into the strip club where I work. I never took the stage, and he didn't know I saw him.
Yeah, but how
on
many?
both accounts. Because if you see your niece up there, you got to go. Like you have to leave.
All right, and let's see if I have one more that would be funny.
That's why at a certain age you should no longer go to those places.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You can get away with it in your 20s or something, I think, or at a bachelor party.
Yeah.
But like if you're hanging there on your lunch hour, that's a problem.
I'll end with this one. I guess all the good ones are already used up. I danced with 2 people at my wedding, the one I married and the one I wish I married.
Oh.
That's brutal.
Ooh. Just carrying it around all that time.
It's not good. All right. So
He's carrying it around.
So if you have a confession and you don't want to go to the priest in the church, you might want to go to Whisper, which is an app.
Yeah.
Here comes Joe Martone.
The Whisper app.
There is no CEO of this company. I think Joe is the CEO.
I think so too.
Joe just said he doesn't go to nudist colonies. If you didn't hear him, that was funny.
That's great.
That was funny. All right, Robin, we need a segue from confessions people make on an app to donating blood.
Well, no matter what those confessions are, you can't make a confession at Lifestyle Community Blood Centers because there's a lot of questions that a person has to answer truthfully so they can go and save a life. So go to Lifestyle Community Blood Centers, be on your best behavior, answer all the questions truthfully, and save a life.
Thank you, Robin. That's beautiful.
Man, you don't want to see that confession on Whisper. You don't want to say, I donated blood and I really had been with another guy.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's happened.
I donated blood and I really had been to Europe in the last 3 months.
Yeah.
Well, that's why we do so many tests. We hope that people are honest.
Yeah. Gail, where's the Bloodmobile today?
Bloodmobile today is at the Winn-Dixie in Marion Oaks.
Winn-Dixie.
Okay.
If you can't get to Winn-Dixie at Marion Oaks, go next door to the Cascades on Silver Springs Boulevard. Donate blood over there. And if you're in Denellen, where would you go, Robin?
Right next door to Sweet Bay.
All right.
Sweet Bay.
Has the unskilled Parker parked yet?
No, I haven't seen him.
I haven't seen him.
No.
Not here yet.
You might want to one day just...
I really think he moved. I think he, because I came in...
He knows?
Monday when I was there, he pulled in straight. He may no longer back.
Oh, no.
He may have given it up.
All right. Thank you, Gail. We've got to go to Fox News.
All right, bye, all.
All right. This is WOCA Ocala. Hang in there. Here comes Fox News, and we'll be right back with News Bites.
Fox News Radio, I'm Karen McHugh. It's a race against time looking for survivors of a capsized South Korean ferry.
Around 290 people unaccounted for, and there's a lot of concern that those people are still stuck inside the ship.
Jason Struther of Global Radio News in Seoul. 4 are confirmed dead, 459 were aboard. Not funny. Massachusetts State Police detonated one of 2 backpacks discovered near the finish line of the Boston Marathon, site of last year's terror attack. It turned out to be a confetti-filled rice cooker left there as a hoax. An arrest has been made.
A cop came around him, grabbed him, started struggling with him over the backpack, pulled the bag off of him, and then they tackled him and took him down. But as the cop was putting the bag down, you could tell it was a pretty heavy backpack. So they set it down in the middle of the street, and then they just started yelling to everyone, just push back, push back.
Witness Andrew Stevens. The suspect is 25-year-old Kevin Edson. Vehicles bearing Russian flags have been spotted in the Ukrainian city of Slovyansk, increasing tensions there. Fox News, we report, you decide.
There's more to Fox News Radio than meets the ear. Go behind the headlines and join the conversation on the hottest stories of the day on the Fox News Radio Facebook page. Be a part of the Fox News Radio Facebook fan community. Post comments and tell us your opinions. See behind-the-scenes photos and videos and post your reactions to the stories that matter to you. Click the like button on Facebook and connect with breaking news and features like Fox in the Fast Lane, House Call for Help, and more. Go to Facebook.com/Fox News Radio.
Weeknights, we're busting out a brand new lineup. First, market fraud, government abuse, corruption. At 5, nothing's off limits on money with Melissa Francis. Then, from bloated bank fees to consumer scams. At 6, Jerry's exposing the issues impacting your wallet.